let's start off with Mitch Marner. You disappointed he's not here, and obviously you can only coach the guys that are there.
Well, I mean, that's your focus for your staff always is you got to worry about the guys that are on deck. We talk about that all year when there's injuries, when there's, I mean, you got Himes and Dermott. There's things like that. There's nothing you can do about that. So we had a lot of change over the summer. Our staff's done a real nice job of acquiring players and moving them around. And so, you know, we got a big job here. Is this as much change as I've seen since I've been in the National Hockey League? So we got to get up and running, and that's what we're getting excited about doing.
Talked with Kyle about, you know, a third of your roster potentially changing hands in a few weeks' time. Where do you see the personality of this hockey club moving forward, Mike, given where you were a year ago?
Yeah, I'm going to watch just like you. You know, to be honest with you, I'm real excited about our group. You know who our top 4D are. There's 2 spots there that we're just going to watch, and we're going to figure that out. We know who our starting goalie is. There's guys battling for that spot. We got to figure that out. And then up front, we have 2 jobs. We might have 3 jobs to start because of Hyman's situation, but we definitely have jobs. And there's not many training camps. Most training camps you go to, there's 22 contracts, and they're on the team, and they're battling for power play time and penalty kill time and 5-on-6 and 6-on-5 and those things. But here there's jobs. There's legitimate jobs that guys, I mean, we have 19 days. So we have 19 days to evaluate the process, and they're going to make the decisions. We're going to watch them and then reinforce, tell them who it was.
Mike, just with the changes on the blue line, what do you like about this group? And I'm assuming one of the things is getting the puck to the forwards quicker than in years past.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, you say that, but one of the things we got to improve the most is playing in our own zone. Like if you look at it and where we are strength-wise in the league, offensively we're better than we've been defensively. So a number of things. We've got right and left shots in our top 4. We got we need Riley and Cease to be allowed to do what they do, and Barry, and then we need Cease and Muzz to play defense. You know, that's fact. And then we got to figure out the next group. Dermy, I think, is, if I'm not mistaken, he's 12 to 14 games away. So there's a really good opportunity for someone else. And injury in pro sport is opportunity for someone else. If you can get yourself some confidence, get yourself rolling, we got to find, because you need 6, you probably need 8, to be honest with you. I think we've done a good job as an organization to increase our depth. Last year when we lost D, we didn't maintain winning. We played tight and we were in it, but we didn't maintain winning. And part of that is just keep improving your depth. That's with your young guys growing each and every year, but it's also with adding guys that are right there knocking on the door. We think we've done that.
Mike, with all the changes, the emphasis seems to be more or less on speed, skill, creativity. As the identity of this team sort of changes, does it affect your process or your methods at all? Well,
I think every year it's totally different. You got 23 guys, you got 23 different ways to coach. Well, you know, I don't know, cap-wise, we might have 20 guys eventually, but you got to look after it different. And the players are all different, and so you got to handle them different. And each year when you get new guys, they're going to learn you and you're going to learn them, and you're going to figure out the process to handle it. But I don't think, to be honest, is what we've been looking for has changed. It just, you can't change it instantly. It takes time to get your team to the position you want it to be. And I mean, you look at, let's be honest, I mean, we're a good team in the National Hockey League. It's taken us some time to get here. But now we're a team that we feel like we have an opportunity each year. When you come here to meet you at the start of the year, we have an opportunity. We didn't have an opportunity in the past. My first 2 years, we made the playoffs my second year here, but we didn't have an opportunity. Now we're getting to a point where you earn the right and you get slapped around a little bit, and all those little slappings help you grow, and all you got to do is look at the teams that win. They've been slapped previously.
Mike, what do you think a change of scenery will do for Cody Ceci, and what are you looking from him specifically?
Well, I think, you know, that's a great question right there, is that we believe that he's just scratching the surface. We think the same about Barry. And so we think there's growth potential there for sure. I think sometimes just a change of scenery. You know, I don't know how many of you people have changed your jobs, but to me it's invigorating. It's a new challenge. they're coming to camp, and instead of being relaxed, they're a little bit antsy. Even though they're veterans, there's more tension. Why? Because they don't know the situation. They don't know the coach is good. They don't know the manager is good. They don't know their teammates is good. And so I think that leads to excitement, but it also leads to growth chances. Hacks are, I love the guys to run the D that were minor league type D men. So in other words, they didn't rely on skill. They relied on, they had to know where to put their feet and their stick to survive. And he was one of those guys, and coach, I think he's really going to help. The other thing he's going to do is, Smitty did a great job for us. He had been here a while, had an opinion on players. He has no opinion, Hack has no opinion on these guys. If you've been in the organization and you think your opinion one, she's a brand new opportunity for you. He's just looking for who he's going to be comfortable with. That's who he's putting on the ice.
Mike, who do you see as potentially getting the first chance to fill the winger roles on John's line, at least to start camp with Zach Hurt and Mitch not here?
Well, let's just go. We only got one guy not coming so far, right? I'm optimistic every day. How's that? So we don't start till tomorrow. So, we've been through all that over and over again, and we're going to figure it out as we go here. How's that? I'd like to tell you I got something set in stone. I don't, Kapanen, who we'd like to play with Kerfoot, is going to start in that spot, but depending on what happens with multiple players, then that'll determine whether we got to move Matty's line around a little bit.
Mike, given the depth you have now that you probably have had in the past, you've spoken to the opportunity that hasn't existed. There's some thought outside the organization that your seat is a little hotter to get this team deeper in the playoffs. Do you feel the same way?
Well, I do for sure, but I think what you try to do is you try to get better each and every year. And so we got to get in the playoffs. So the first thing is, everyone talks about the playoffs and the run. You got to get in the playoffs. And I don't know if you noticed around our side that the teams got better. So she's going to be tight from the get-go. And we understand that. But we also think we've really taken a step internally. And what I mean by that is a lot of our core players have gotten substantially better. They've gotten older. They're more comfortable with themselves, and they're more comfortable on the ice, both offensively and defensively. So, but I also think the expectation each and every year should be greater than the previous year if you're going in the right direction. We are. And any way you look at it is we're in last place. This team was no good. That's not the case now. We got something to be proud of, and our fans are proud of it, and we are too, but we want more, and I think that's the way life should be.
Mike, you talked about the meeting you had with Austin in the offseason in terms of how you guys kind of got together.
Did I talk about that? Thought I snuck in there.
You attracted probably more criticism or received more criticism, I don't know if you heard it, after the Game 7 in terms of usage of Austin and stuff like that. When you go back and look at last year and look at how this year might change for this team, do you see anything different in terms of how you're going to handle the usage for star players and not only at the beginning but towards the end?
Yeah, you know what's interesting there is I think, and I'm not sure, I didn't check before I came here, you can check for me if you want. I think Austin played about 18 and a half minutes last year, is that about right? And I think in the playoffs, every bit but Game 7, I think he played in the 20s or something like that. In Game 7, did you check his shift length? Did he play the same amount of shifts? You know, some of these things I'm not in control. I'm just in control of how many times he gets out there. But what I'd say to you is we had good discussion. He's, when you talk to Austin, you know, he arrived a big-time player, there's no question about it, but the comfort in himself and his ability to share himself with his teammates, his ability to lead, has just gotten better and better as time goes on, which you would expect from a young man. I don't think it's any different for Marner that way. I don't think it's any different for Morgan Riley that way. It's just you earn the right to be comfortable. I can't give that to you. You earn that right, and I think he's really grown in that area. He wants to be a driving force, and no different than John Tavares. They want to be the difference makers. They want to be the guys that put their name on the cup, that have led their team, like Taves, like Bergeron, and so I think that's what you aspire to as a player, and I think that's your job as a coach to help them, and that's what we've tried to do. Is it going to be rosy every day? No, but he's an important part of our team, and we understand that.
We'll take 2 more questions, Kevin. How would you describe your relationship with Kyle?
You know what, I gotta be careful, every time I do this and then I leave, it's different, but I tell you every time, I think it's good. We talk all the time. You know, we communicate all the time, we don't agree all the time. I've enjoyed it. You know, I get a 4-month break or a 3-month break. I like it to be 3 months from you guys. But a 4-month break, and I speak at the end of the year. I don't speak till this time again. This time, it appears to me like there's always lots to talk about in the off season. We talked a lot. We've made a lot of changes to our lineup. We're excited about our opportunity. Let's get on with it.
Coach, in an ideal world, whoever it is, it might be who wins the backup job, what are you looking for out of that position?
Well, there's two parts, I think, to that question. You know, everyone talks about load management and play this guy this much. You want us to play this guy more and that guy less. We got to make the playoffs, right? So this great plan that everybody has and can do it in hindsight, oh, should have played him more, should have played him less. You have to make the playoffs. Can we all agree that's the first priority? So I think that answers that question.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.